Hello students, welcome to class. Today I'm going to talk about a video that I did not yet post, but that I spent a lot of time on. It's about CallMeChris. Many of you know CallMeChris. She is somebody who has millions of followers. I think it's close to 50 million probably on all of her channels, if not more. She is a beautiful woman with blonde hair, blue eyes, in perfect shape, who lives in Canada and is Canadian like me. Now, CallMeChris is somebody who has done videos back and forth with me where I have tried to encourage her to be vegan, because if she becomes vegan, then her audience will follow if she encourages them, because she has such a large following and people are very impressionable that are her fans who are younger than her or the same age as her. So the idea was that if CallMeChris says, hey, you know, that vegan teacher says we should be vegan, then her audience will say, hey, maybe we should do it, and they would all together do things like talking about vegan foods, trying tofu, trying lentils, beans, rice, vegan food all over the place. Her channel could have had so much great vegan content, and it could have helped the animals a lot, because Chris could also have told her audience about the devastation that the meat and dairy and industries have on the environment, and we're talking about trying to protect the planet for these younger kids. So that is the reason that I started talking to Chris, doing videos, and she did some back and forth with me. And recently she did another video where she talked about her mental health. And this is a young woman who, let's remember, again, is in perfect shape, absolutely beautiful, not a blemish on her body, very talented, can speak in all kinds of different accents, and has work ahead of her for the rest of her life because of her incredible talent and her ability to be creative. So she's never going to run out of ideas, and she will never be unpopular. It's just not possible because she has such a talent, and she has a work ethic as well. So Chris is somebody who I think should be vegan, but who has said that she just can't be bothered because she just likes the taste of meat, and has promised me that she would watch the important documentary called Dominion. But I don't know if she ever did, but she did tell me that she would. She wrote it in the comment section of one of my videos. And I hope that she did, and it would be great if she did, because the movie called Dominion Movement is such a powerful movie to show her audience how the animals are treated, and it is just absolutely heartbreaking. And what I suggested in the movie that I just did about her, talking about her, is I suggested that she sits on a couch and that the camera is facing her, and she shows her audience herself watching Dominion Movement, or Earthlings, for example, and without actually showing the images of how the animals are treated, to just let her audience know that it is very devastating. And I'm sure that she would cry if she has a heart, and then her audience would know that, hey, maybe we should all strive to be vegan. But this is not a video that I have put up yet, and the reason that I'm hesitant to put up my video talking about her recently is because in that video she cries, and so do I. Now, I've been talking to actually a few people about whether I should put it up, because when I cry on camera, I am always made fun of, and the videos are taken out of context, and I question whether it actually helps the animals or not. But the reason that I feel like I should put it up is because it is my genuine feelings about what CallMeChris is doing. Chris is somebody who talked about her mental health. She talked about how she is really sad and going through a really hard time, that she had some stalkers at her house, and that she now has to move, but she's still going to stay in Canada. And in the video, I talked about how the same thing happened to me. I had stalkers, I had people who were coming to my house, but then I started to compare how her stalkers are wildly different than mine. For example, if you look at my comment section, just for being somebody here who is trying to protect the animals, I have massive amounts of people who spew all kinds of hatred, who talk about how they like to harm animals, how they talk about how they like to abuse animals. My channel seems to collect all of these absolutely very, very cruel people, and I think that the kind people are just kind of scared of the comment section because they see that there are so many evil people in the world, and so they tend to not comment, although they do watch the videos, but only a fraction of the people watch my videos versus hers. So in the video I started to cry because I in listening to Chris talk about how she felt scared, but also that just her mental health in general is one that she's always struggling with, her weight, for example. And I said to her that, you know, I just think it's kind of crazy. She has everything going for her. And she has money, she has beauty, she has access to everything that she could want. And yet she wants to, well, without saying so, she said that she was in a very dark place. Let's leave it at that. So what I said to her in the video is that I understand that, because in mid-June, somebody I found out who has a lot of followers has been taking my videos and splicing them to make it seem like I enjoy eating animals, and that was absolutely devastating to me. I mean, I knew the account existed, but I kind of blocked them and pretended it wasn't there. And then my account, because I had more followers than this person, was deleted. My accounts are often taken down just for trying to defend the animals. It is a deplorable world that we live in. But so this account was using my image to make it seem like I was okay with hunting, that I was okay with hurting animals, and it was just devastating to me that my image was being used in a way that was making it worse. For example, on TikTok, when you get into the For You page, that means that people who don't even know me will see this image, me, a grandmother, a person with gray hair, talking about hurting the animals. So my image is being used to make it worse for people. So kids could randomly be like, oh, just, you know, scrolling through and think, oh, here's a grandmother telling me to eat meat. Oh, I should eat more meat today. So this led me to go into quite a depression in mid-June. You wouldn't know it because I didn't show it on my channel. But in watching Chris talk about her sadness and Chris crying about her life situation, I had mixed feelings, because on the one hand, I can totally understand what she's going through. I have also had people come at my house and bash on my door in the middle of the night, but the difference is that the people who do that at my house want to hurt me. The people who do that at her house want to talk to her. They want to be friends with her. They love and adore her. I mean, there's a huge difference here. But we both have dogs. We do have things in common. Like I said, we both started on TikTok around the time that COVID started. And at that time, I got up to almost 2 million followers before that account was taken down. But Chris's account kept growing. And the reason that I keep talking to her is exactly for the reason that I think it could help the animals. But one of the things, in case you don't know the drama that happened, is that Chris noticed that I was using a Crayola marker, which is not vegan. And instead of saying, hey, Miss Katie, you're using the crayon a marker that is not vegan, let's Google vegan markers and let's see if we can get you some, since she's a multi-millionaire. And that's how she did. She made fun of me and basically never gave students an alternative. So I gave her the challenge to go ahead and write the company, since she has so much pull and so much influence. And I said, why don't you write the Crayola company and tell them that we need vegan markers for the millions and millions of students who are going to be going back to school in the fall and who need markers for school. And that's not what she did. I don't think that she contacted them. If she did, she hasn't told me about it. But anyway, in my video, I talked about a lot of different things, and I expressed a lot of frustration with her, a lot of anger towards her for being so cruel, for essentially encouraging her audience to keep paying for the rape of animals. That is what happens in the industries. The bulls are pinned down, they are masturbated, their sperm is taken, it is forced into a female who is pinned down. That is sexual assault. When her babies after 9 months are born, the same gestation period as we have, her babies are taken away. If they're boys, their throats are slit because they are considered to be useless in the industry. This is so much information that I do not think that her followers know about. I don't even know if Chris knows about it, because she is one of these people who closes her ears and closes her eyes and just pretends that there's nothing in the world around her that she is responsible for, and yet she is apparently unhappy. So I talked about this. I reviewed one of her videos, her last one, where she was crying and saying that she was suffering, and I started to cry too, because in a way I feel a great deal of sadness for her, because I don't like anyone suffering. That is why I'm an animal rights activist. I don't like suffering. It makes me sad. On the other hand, I see her as not really being a victim, because she has so much going for her because she has so many reasons to live. I was actually going through a really dark period in mid-June because I thought that if I wasn't here on the planet, it would be better for the animals. What does Chris think? In no way could she possibly think that her not being on the planet would be a good thing, because she can help the animals. She has so much money that she could donate to different refuges. This is what I said in my video. And she could do so much by just raising awareness, just telling everybody to watch Dominion. Go to watchdominion.com. Go to earthlings.com. Go to Forks Over Knives. There is so much that she could help me with. And I have great anger and frustration because she's, instead of taking up the challenge to be a good human, a good Canadian, a good fellow YouTuber with me and make the world a better place, she decides to go to bed and cry because of her weight. It's absolute insanity to me. So I'm torn, and in my video I do cry and I say, look, Chris, the world needs you. Like, don't do anything silly, don't be stupid, because I totally understand on one hand, like, wanting to not be here, and I talked about that in my video, but I'm hesitating about posting my video because in some parts of it I'm very angry, and you can see it on my face, and in some parts I'm just really, really sad because it's so frustrating to not have Chris on side with me. I said in my video there's no reason that the two of us couldn't be friends, maybe not best friends, but at least not enemies, and that she could so much help the animals. And I encouraged her in that video to basically take care of herself because the world needs her and the animals need her. So I just want to let you know that that is something that I've been struggling with, because when I sit in front of my desk there and I review videos such as the one by CallMeChris, it takes a lot out of me. It is tiring, and then to edit them is a big job. So I thought today I would just, because it's so nice out and I don't want to be stuck behind a computer editing, I thought I would just quickly tell you guys what's happening, that these are my thoughts right now. I don't know whether I should finish editing that and show you exactly how I feel, or maybe this is enough. So let me know in the comments below if you are interested. Do you want to see the full video of how I feel? Because I take apart the entire video that Chris posted, everything she's talking about her mental health, and I dissect it. Or is this enough? Let me know in the comments below. And if Chris, you happen to see this video, I encourage you one more time to please be as vegan as possible. Tell your audience that they should strive to be vegan because we can help to save this planet. Animal agriculture has a huge eco footprint, and we need people to be healthy, Chris. We need them to have the best chance of health, to avoid cancer of the colon. You're less likely to get cancer of your colon, like 18% less chance if you're vegan. Being vegan is good for your veins, it's good for your arteries, it's good for your lungs, it's good for every part of you. It is so healthy, it is so easy to be vegan. I mean, especially somebody like you live right near a grocery store like many of us do. It's not a big deal. So I encourage you, Chris, please help me out here, help the animals out. You are really needed on this planet to be an asset to us. There are animals everywhere in sanctuaries who do not have enough food to eat because there are people who collect these animals because people dump them on them. Horses that are injured, they just say, hey, there's a refuge, and they just start dumping them there. I also talked in my video about how you have chickens, and I tried to remind you that the reason that you have chickens that are laying eggs is because all of their brothers have been murdered, macerated at 1 day old. That is why we don't see roosters around. So the whole cycle is a whole cycle of violence in the egg industry. So every time that you think, oh, aren't my chickens cute? You have some apparently, and you're going to collect the eggs. You remember that you having those chickens is a terrible thing because you are encouraging people to go into that cycle of violence again, to adopt or buy chickens, and then adopting them is different if you're saving their lives, but if you're planning to use them as a commodity, that's not okay. So I talked a lot about a bunch of stuff like that in a video, which is over an hour long. And I just wanted to remind you, Chris, about the eggs, and to thank everybody for watching. If you like this channel, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys all in the next video. If you see Chris, let her know I'm thinking of her. I want her to be okay, and I want us to have a vegan world as soon as possible. And coming up on screen are going to be a bunch of other videos. Click on them. Be curious. Look around my channel. There's over 2,300 videos, and I'm also on Cameo now. If you want to send me a message, if you want me to contact you through Cameo, it's a thing where you pay a certain amount of money and you can ask me a question. I can leave you a message, a birthday greetings, or whatever. So that's kind of an interesting thing I'm doing now. It's Cameo, so my address there is cameo.com/@thatveganteacher. So check that out as well. I'll see you guys all pretty soon, okay? Bye for now.